Nyanji chimbo, tsuddin hikmi xiang, zonim holam chimbo, ngabjata pakartar ngam sandu shirma do, tumba tukji janla kip xiang tsal. Amazingly, there are so many different people who believe different ways in this world. I would like to tell you this. There are some people who have no belief in any spiritual path and practice, and who have also no belief in their future life. So therefore, who want happiness of this life alone, right? Therefore, they very much engage in business, try to destroy their enemies, protect their family, their country, because they think this is the purpose of their life. That's the kind of, some people believe that way. Some people also want to happiness of this life and also future life. So they do both their spiritual practice and engage in their worldly sort of activities. And there are some other people who truly sort of understand that the happiness of this life and happiness of future life is only kind of temporary. And also they understand that impermanence with no essence at all. So they strive only for get enlightenment based on their genuine renunciation and practice bodhicitta. So you see there are at least 3 different groups we have. So I don't know which group are you belong to. Myself, maybe the second, both, right? Engaged, practice, and also worldly activities. So, so we have 3 different groups, at least, I think. And I think if you can keep a suitable spiritual path that really benefits your mind, your body, and if you continue to practice it throughout your life, and no matter what happens to you in good or bad situation with your sort of finance or health or environment, I believe that you can be happy and easily deal with your circumstances, no matter what arises. Therefore, spiritual practice or the dharma practice, I think, very sort of necessary in our life. Because, for instance, some of my friends were very depressed and sort of hot-tempered, and people with many desires. However, after practice, their spiritual path, practice the dharma, they have sort of become happier and less greedy, Because authentic practice of the dharma and spiritual, the result in more peace, freedom, and especially less greedy, So I think that is the root of all happiness and freedom. Because Buddha said, freedom is happiness. The right freedom. The right freedom is happiness. Being controlled by others is suffering. So the cause of that, the freedom, the happiness, the supreme freedom is happiness of the mind. So that happiness can only come from training the mind and attitude. Very important, attitude, right? What kind of attitude that we need to cultivate? I would like to remind you that important point here. When you practice, when you listen the teachings, it is important to understand the point, the value, the precious, the opportunity. So the point is your mental attitude, the attitude of love, the attitude of bodhicitta, the attitude of wisdom. So the combination of these 3 points put together, then your practice will be very beneficial to all beings, because it's the combination of these 3 things, the characteristic of Mahayana practice, and it also we call the open-minded in modern language, But Buddhist point of view, this is the Mahayana practice. So important point is develop your compassion in order to benefit others, not only verbally, but mentally. And in order to benefit others, it is important that one individual has to look very closely one's own attitude from the very beginning of the practice towards enter at the end of practice. Of course, all the time also important, right? When we practice, when we listen teaching, the duration of practice is not that important. But important point is practice with a sort of a sincerity and genuine attitude. Every single attitude of the body, speech and mind, you should analyze, must not mixed with ego, must not mixed with confusion, must not mixed with one's own any other negative emotions. It's difficult, right? But if the negative emotions arise, it's important to remember the antidotes. That's why we have spiritual path. That's why we have teacher. That's why we have instructions. That's why we have these teachings. And you should tell yourself, I should make meaningful my practice, and I should benefit others through this practice, these opportunities. And you should think and recognize that this is very important moment. This is very precious moment, because in order to change your attitude, you need this precious moment, and also it is something that you have to take seriously in your life if you consider of you are an authentic and Mahayana practitioner. So therefore, each and every moment when you do practice, you should very clear and very mindful. make sure you have the right attitude. Through that, your practice will be very meaningful and beneficial. Then it is a genuine Dharma practice. It's a genuine spiritual practice. Dharma, right? Dharma. What is the Dharma? In short, the Dharma is the explanation of what to adopt and what to abandon. That's all. I think we can say that is the spiritual path. That's the Sanskrit term called the Dharma. But that is spiritual path. And that kind of spiritual path or unmistaken liberating path is also three things, right? To study the teachings by listening, and then contemplating, and then meditating on it. Those three things. And applying everything that we learned as a method to subdue our mind transforms our intention, attitude, and our conduct, so that we are kind, right? Kind to each other. That is the purpose, to practice. So, to kind person, to kind each other, this is, of course, very important for us and human life. Because Buddha said that those who are violent and who harm sentient beings are not followers of mine. Do you understand that? Therefore, the spiritual path of Dharma is a method to abandon all harmful thoughts, harmful speech, especially speech. Very important when you talk with somebody. Be mindful. Otherwise, by Möpam Rinpoche's, they're teaching on investigate. They called investigating speech. The speech is actually most harmful if you are out of control. You don't know what you're talking, you know. It's so important when you talk. Less talk, too much talk, not good. Less talk with your friends, with your, Dharma brothers and sisters, so important, you know. And of course, the harmful physical actions. And in addition, it is method of accomplishing vast benefit for ourselves and others. So that's very important, generally speaking. The Dharma or spiritual path has three aspects. First aspect is by way of conduct and activity. That means it is a method to accomplish the temporary and ultimate benefit of happiness of living beings. And second aspect is by way of intention and motivation. It is a method to transform everything into love and compassion, bodhicitta, and wisdom. And then third aspect is by way of commitment and attainment. It is a method to improve this life and to attain the liberation. Those three aspects, is from my book. So I would like just... So therefore, the practice we do in our daily life is the most important. I said this hundreds of times, right? If we practice daily, then we can recognize gradually the value of the practice and recognize the precious of our lives, the precious of human life. Recognize precious human life is so important. Actually, recognize that human life is actually amazing, right? Because we have the wisdom, bodhicitta, and compassion that fully, understand and fully discriminates all phenomena. What is adopt, what is abandoned, what is the cause of happiness, all of these things, because we have human life. So we have the capacity to understand what is the cause of liberation. Not only just to understand, we can do it. We can get enlightenment. So therefore, the teachings are not just something to know intellectually, but it is meant to improve our mind. To understand, that means all the phenomena. First, we need to understand all these phenomena arise from our mind itself. Buddhist point of view, Buddhist science point of view. This is the way that things appear. If we recognize it, then everything arises from our mind. Everything from mind. Therefore, if you develop your mind, easy to control everything, because everything arises from mind. For example, if you had sort of unpleasant and scary dreams, and if you try to use it so many different methods to dispel those dreams, but there is no end to it, for sure. But if you just recognize and understanding that those unpleasant dreams arise from the mind itself, makes them dissolve as soon as they appear. That's also a sign that everything is arise from our mind. Nothing exists outside. If you improve your mind through your practice, everything is easy. Control, everything easy. Because everything is a mind. So we have to understand that all of existence is like that. It's like that dream. If you have a dream, your baby is died, and you cry and dream. But if you recognize this is a dream, no suffering. End of suffering there. That's why it's very important for us to integrate the teachings and practice into our daily life, and for the practice of meditation, it is the key point of the instructions. Otherwise, it will not help our mind and our daily life. If there is a big gap between teachings and practice, the person not so helpful. It is important to always think this, mix our mind completely with the teachings, with dharma, with spiritual path, day to day, moment by moment, if you can. Because the pure realization of Buddha's teachings depends only upon whether a person's mind is subdued or not. It does not depend on external things. For example, if the outside of, for example, a monastery, everything is gold and beautiful and big and beautiful, but that doesn't mean that the Buddha is teaching alive at the monastery. I always tell that when I go to Tibet, we have these days amazingly, beautiful things. But it depends. Buddha's teachings alive, it depends a person's mind, whether subdue or not. That is the purpose. That's the point. Therefore, the teachings from Buddha and other qualified teachers have sort of given different people in different countries because of that, So it purifies their mind and transforms them. If we develop positive mental state of great love, compassion, recognize the nature of mind, emptiness, whatever, and training our mind and bodhicitta, contentment, satisfaction, satisfied, and so on, many, many good qualities that exist in our mind itself will manifest. Definitely. So those are the cause of happiness for everyone, not outside. And also oppositely, the pride, the hatred, jealousy, all these our negative thoughts also arise from the mind itself too, and it depends upon them. We act in ways that harm other living beings because of those negative emotions. It's arise from our mind. And that is also the cause of unhappiness for ourselves, for others. Therefore we suffer. Therefore we suffer because of these negative emotions. And then we act in this way, harm other beings. Harm other beings actually cause of unhappiness for us. Carrying others is cause of happiness. Actually, we get the happiness at the end. So this is very important. And this is very important to understand when Buddhism talking about suffering. We are not talking about pain or depression or something is already there, already happening. We're not talking that. That's just too late to change. You have to go through it, whether you like or not. If something happened, that is we call truth of suffering. Truth of suffering. But here when we're talking about suffering, we are talking about the cause of suffering. The cause of suffering, so important. Do you understand what is different between truth of suffering and cause of suffering? Truth of suffering, we can't do anything. The cause of suffering, we can change, which is the change, uncertainty, That's also we call impermanence, right? Impermanence. Each and everything is changeable and uncertain all the time, uncertain. That is the cause of suffering. So therefore, to make sure that we need to abandon the cause of this kind of suffering, then there is no truth of suffering. If you abandon, diminish the cause of suffering, then you will not suffer. If you already suffering, that is from cause of suffering. You have the cause of suffering, then now you get the result. When you got the result, we can't do anything. Even Buddha can't take away from you that suffering. You have to go through. But you can diminish, abandon the cause of suffering. So therefore, make sure don't do any cause of suffering. Then you will be fine, right? Otherwise, we can't do anything. That's how we take care of ourselves. Abandon the cause of suffering, then happiness. Otherwise, no matter how much outer wealth or property we have, it does not much help our inner mental happiness, because our desires and our arrogant ambition increase all sorts of inner and outer sufferings. So all of this happened due to our uncontrolled minds that without a good attitude, such as compassion, love, and peace and wisdom. Do you understand? So important. Nobody can take care of ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves, okay? That's very important. It's general teaching, basic teaching, but very, very, it's related to our life, day to day. Another thing is I would like to talk a little bit about eating meat today. This is New Year. Resolution, think about your New Year. I haven't talked this long time. So eating meat, is for delicious. It's for delicious. I believe almost that's all the reason why eating meat. People say, some other reasons. But I think that's just, what do you call it? Pretext, which means like a reason that someone gave to hide the real reason, So the real reason is for delicious. Real reason is nothing other than that. It's only the delicious. But that kind of delicious, or what do you call it, pleasant sensation or pleasant feeling, right, is very short and very temporary sort of feeling. And if we investigate a little bit when we are eating a piece of meat, where that piece of meat came from, how it becomes a piece of meat. We have to think that, right? We are sort of human beings, which means who has intelligent, wisdom mind. So we have to think how it becomes a piece of meat. Then we will know, if you think, we will know the behind that piece of meat, a being who has a strong feeling, that wants happiness and doesn't want suffering, is like you and me, And that kind of being who is also very healthy and nothing wrong with one's body, mind, especially killed for the human beings. And furthermore, how they killed, very badly, very badly. We can't even look at when they killed. When we eat, delicious. But behind that, not like that. For example, if we put ourselves in their place, we will know how we feel, right? How we feel. So I think it's time to think. I think it's time to think. The earlier part of our life, we used and we enjoyed other beings' life for just our happiness, our delicious, just temporary, short feeling. We enjoy over our other beings' life, And surprisingly, amazingly, at the same time, we said the prayers. May all, May all sentient beings have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering, cause of suffering. Our innermost wish and what we do is actually opposite. Do you think our wish important or the actions is important? So that is the earlier part of our lives, right? When I think about my body, half my body is somebody's body. That's earlier part of our life. It's gone. It's gone. It's finished. It's past, right? But more important is we should think the later part of our lives now. It is coming, right? It is coming. We don't know how long we're going to stay and how much time we have. We don't know. That's uncertain. Again, uncertain. We don't know. But the point is, I think the later part of our lives, better not take in other beings' life and better not enjoy our future life like that way. As we all know that the practice bodhicitta is the root of everything. We all agree on that, right? And we also want to become a bodhisattvas. We want to become a kind person, right? A kind person. So important. I always wish, I always hope, in this world, we don't have enough kind people. We need a kind people more and more. That kind of people is through practice, your practice, and understanding the nature of suffering and happiness. And so therefore, we want to become an authentic Mahayana practitioner, right? Because we practice bodhicitta all the time. So if we don't practice for those beings who can't speak, who can't say, please don't kill me, I want my life, same as you do, So, and those beings who have no capacity to protect themselves and their life. If we don't practice for them, I'm sorry. And then what is the point to practice bodhicitta? Some people say, I don't have capacity to help others financially, and I don't have capacity to help others through my practice. But think about this. Eating meat is directly harm others. Directly, not indirectly. Directly harm others. Sure. So if someone stop eating meat, you know what? I think that is the best way to help other beings. But I'm not saying that you must stop eating meat, It's up to you. It's up to you. You, of course, understand what is happiness, what is suffering. Who wants suffering? Nobody wants suffering. We all know that. Always, whatever we do, first we should put ourselves in their place, in their shoes. That's, I think, very important in order to practice, the Mahayana. That's so important. Then you will understand how you feel. It's good or it's not good. We should do that more often. If I say this or if I do this, first you should put in their place, and then you will know. So again, I'm not saying stop eating meat, but I'm saying that it's time to think about it. And more importantly, at least to have a hesitation when you eat meat. You should think like this: oh, this is very, very delicious. But I'm eating someone's body. I'm eating someone's life. Is this correct? Is this appropriate? And again, like, wait a minute. How they died? So you must ask yourself like this as a Mahayana practitioner. Mahayana practitioner. We all like that name. I'm a Mahayana practitioner. I'm not Hinayana practitioner. I'm Mahayana practitioner. What is mean by Mahayana practitioner? What is, you know? But I'm not trying to sort of control in your life, though. But I am taking the responsibility. I am considered myself as a representative for those beings who can't speak. So I'm speaking on behalf of them. I think very important for us as a Mahayana practitioner, no hypocrisy, you know. We're saying these prayers, amazing, for immeasurable prayers, right? May all sentient beings have, may all sentient beings, not human beings, like, right? May all sentient beings have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering cause. We say that all the time. But do we really practice? Just say, or we really do practice? Mahayana practitioner, wonderful, right? The activity is so important. First, we understand the teachings, but more important is the teaching. Once you understand the teachings put into your mind. So we should really think about, be a kind person who has a bodhicitta mind, who cares others. Buddha said, if you can't help, if you don't have capacity to help others, at least don't harm others. That's what we can do. At least don't harm others. And sometimes people say, I don't kill them. I don't kill these animals. But somebody killed them for you. Then we eat. If we don't eat, why they kill? Nobody wants to kill. So therefore, I think those kind of things we have to think. We have to think. And at least, I think very important to hesitation. And there is Khenpo Jigme Panso's the best one of his student. He stopped eating meat like 30 years, something like that. I'm not sure exactly. But I heard that when he said, now vegetable and piece of meat, nothing different, he said. For me, it's nothing different. I have no desire to eat meat now. Before, of course, he loves to eat meat. It's a challenge, right? The first time, first year, first month, first week, it's challenge, too difficult to stop eating meat. But if we do continue like that, then eventually the vegetable meat, no different. I still like to eat meat, but I try to, think about this kind of thing. And people say some other reasons, I don't believe at all. Oh, I have to eat meat because for my strength, or some of these things. It's not necessary. We have plenty of other food. And sometimes, Buddha eat meat. No. And people say, Buddha died from a piece of meat. No. In his sutras, at least like 5-10 sutras, don't eat meat. those who are considered like Mahayana practitioner, even like bodhisattvas can't admit. He said that very clearly. But some people like wrote a Buddha's biography and then say this kind of things because they want to admit, oh, Buddha did. That's why I'm doing it. That's happened in Christian religion too. Jesus was wonderful, a kind person, human being. But these days, the Christian people, many things believe, never Jesus said. But somebody or some other people, student of him or whatever, they say this thing because they want to do these things. Then they, what do you call it? Pretext? You call it as pretext? How do you call it? Right? Oh, the Christian people believe that fish is no meat. It's not. It's not include meat. Fish is Jesus or God give us for food. Do you believe that? It's terrible. If that God said that, that is not God who harmed other beings. No compassion. No compassion. Without compassion, it's not human holy beings. No. Jesus never said that. Give me evidence. No, you can't find that. They said some people like to eat fish. Then they say, oh yeah, Jesus said this. No, don't say that, right? So that's the same thing. Buddha never eat meat. Buddha never said that you can eat meat. He said, those who are harmed others, not followers of mine. If he admits and then these are contradict, he's not like that person. But some people say very truthfully, that makes sense. Oh, I love admit. I know this is not correct. This is not good, but I can't stop because I love. Makes sense, of course. Then it's true, it's honest. But some people say, oh, Buddha admit. That's why I'm. No reason. That's not good reason. Anyway, okay. Practice now, meditation. We should practice on the breath practice in 3 stages we did last Sunday. It's a little bit different today. Practice in 3 stages, the breath practice in 3 stages, which means breathe in, breathe out, and then pause between those two. So everybody know that, how to meditate on that. So this is we call working with energy, your energy. And opportunity to find peace, happiness. Happiness is not past, not future. Happiness is present moment. So breath is present moment, right? So if you really focus on your breath, and then you focus on your happiness or your peacefulness, it only happens present moment. So anyway, first relax, very important. Not too tight, both your mind and body. When you meditate, just to relax, And you should maybe sometimes think, you should think you are just alone somewhere, not with other people. Otherwise, sometimes people think think other feelings, other thoughts, it's not good, then you are not relaxing, right? So just to yourself. And then you can relax many ways. Lay down, relax, you know, uh, perfect the position of your body, you can relax that way. Sit on chair, relax that way. Sleep, relax that way. So relax, so important. And then today is like, when you breathe out, maybe if you want, you can think like, send your compassion, love to those other beings who are suffering. Also those, every single days, every moment, millions of beings killed and suffering. So you can send them compassion, not only those beings, especially you have to send compassion and love for those who killers, these beings, very bad karma. Those people have no compassion at all. It's like tiger. And then you can pause, breathe out, and then you can send love and compassion for everybody. And then you can pause. Maybe you can think about, just I told you, eating meat, it's good or not. You think it's good, it's okay, then it's your choice. If you think you have hesitation, or if you think it's not good thing to do, then there's many way to stop doing it. Slowly, 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 right? So you can think about those kind of things, and then you breathe in. You are taking those beings' sufferings. So they have good life, happiness life, their future life will more happier than their past life. So you're taking somebody's suffering and then despair those sufferings, and then pause and think about yourself, your situation. Are you really an authentic Mahayana practitioner? What does that mean? We have to think so many ways. When you meditate, it's just to let your think. All this kind of meditation we call it analytical meditation. There are no rest in meditation actually until you get the great perfection. Once you practice on great perfection, then everything is gone. No analytical meditation, nothing. It's only rest in meditation. No subject, no object. It's easy. But this kind of thing is analytical meditation. So you have to think how to make a good person, a kind person. That's so important. Okay? Few minutes.